You know, there's a secret in your birthday to courage, and courage leads to love. Are you ready to find out the truth? I have the answer. You too can find the truth if you dare. All that and more at stepº16.com.
It's a new reality.
Good morning, I'm Lovecasting live from the Serious Joy Studios in Costa Mesa, California, and this is your Tuesday, Namaste Today. Good morning and Namaste, and welcome to Namaste Today. My name is stepº16. I am a psychic astrologer and the Sensei to Serious Joy at your soul service. Thank you so much for logging in. Hope you're having a great start of your week. It is Tuesday, September 8th, 2015, and this is the conclusion of a holiday weekend in the United States. And we're forging ahead with Virgo. Now, if you're new to astrology or you're new to my show, welcome. How are you? We are really traveling through the different states of awareness of being human, and when human beings are in the sector of Virgo, or in that part of the year, or that part of our cycle and circle, or that part of our story arc, this is where we always make things very real. We also call it the harvest. So in some regards, you're harvesting your food from the whole summer, what you've done for the summer, and you're also kind of packing for the winter. It's that transition, and it's the Virgo consciousness. Now this year, if you're just tuning in, we have a splendid year in Virgo because Jupiter has cycled back to Virgo, which means that human beings will grow at an accelerated rate as far as what their new reality is. Now you may see the actual markets decline or the financial sectors of the world go in decline because we're making some very major changes as far as where we want to get our money, where we want to make our future investments. A lot of people going to college, a lot of people have passed away, a lot of babies being born. So there's a lot of shuffle going on, and Virgo is the consciousness where we deal with that shuffle. Today you might be feeling kind of heavy. The moon is still in Cancer from the weekend, and so emotions are in a pure form. If you're watched over my personal Sensei service, there's a new feature out this morning that will always give you your emotional tone today and how that affects you in your soul biography, which is your long-term story. But we kind of wake up and start the week with the feelings of the weekend, even though we have to get to the week. So just so you know, you might wake up a little grumpy today, not wanting to get moving. That's okay. But what's really important is that you set your emotional intention for how you want your life to feel. Now we're on countdown to a new moon, and I'll be talking about that this week. We're going to actually be planting the seeds for how we want things to grow. But before we dive into what's coming up this week, let's first dive in and talk to my guides. I almost said tame your brain. Isn't that funny? I'm so programmed. Let's tame your brain with the phrase of the day. So funny. Let's log in with my guides and see what they have to say, and also take a look at the planets for today. And we also have, if you haven't noticed, Bella, our studio dog, who sat down on her own right there, right in frame. I don't know if she has a third eye. They can see that she's in the picture, but she does it. Okay, so step 15 and 16 is what the two degrees of the day are, and the first thing my guides say is that today is going to be a very cloudy day for people. It's very cloudy. So they're saying that people are going to have a kind of hard time getting back to work or getting back to business, and that's okay. So that's interesting. I am shooting these in advance now, so it's interesting because I have my assumption, and then I go in and they're like, no, actually it's cloudy, Chris. We should go in a little earlier, sorry. But yeah, they say it's cloudy because they say that at this point what's really important is the shifting of your emotional guard. So you're shifting emotional guard today towards the new life. And that's part of maybe why it's sluggish. They're saying it's because they're taking down to Saturn. Saturn's at 29 degrees. So in essence, you know, again, we're creating this new reality. We're moving forward with a new reality based on your heart, based on your heart's intentions. You know, the simplest way is I call it the re-virginication of Virgo. They're becoming re-virginized. And what that means is you let the old go and you build new. So that said, if you could go back 12 years and be the world's greatest soccer mom to you, if you could go back 12 years or 24 years and give yourself the encouragement you always needed, That's kind of what today's about. You want to emotionally shift your guard to where you are emotionally supporting the new life and not emotionally complaining about the old. And they're telling me that's very foggy. So today, as we move into step 16, the 6 is I receive. And so the key here is to keep like tuning your spiritual radio back and forth until you find like the vibration frequency that's you, and then commit to that feeling, what feels easy. That means they're bringing me to another topic in my head. It's funny, this is just like a reading. That if if you're trying to make decisions or trying to, decide where you want to go, ultimately you want to feel it out. You want to feel out what might work and what might not work, and go with those things first. Feeling good is the first intention. Remember, it is step 2, I feel, before I manifest step 10. So they're telling me that this is going to be a very spiritual 24 hours. There are a lot of people who haven't filed their intentions in with the universe, they're telling me, which is interesting. And so that means that if you really want this to grow and you are serious about it, then you must, in your heart, make a decision and at some point proclaim to the universe that you are serious. There's many rituals they show me, writing it down and burning it. It's the ritual and putting into action. If you understand the 11 steps of serious joy and you're following along on the website, you'll learn that step 9 is paramount to making something happen. So if you're a person who's just been thinking about making changes but haven't actually done anything, you need to actually at least do a ceremony and give it back to God. Once you have made this dedication, they're saying a lot of people will feel more secure. A lot of people, they're showing me, are insecure because you're waiting to see the evidence before you decide. Sweethearts, that's not how reality works. You must decide and then reality shows you the evidence. Okay, so the train is leaving. We're on our way to serious joy. All aboard. I want to be like a, what do you call it? An engineer guy or whatever. I can't think of it now. Conductor, sorry. Too many things. And it's time to move forward. So Saturn at step 29, they bring me right back on track, is saying, hey, these boundaries that you put up right now with the completion of Saturn in Scorpio, whatever these emotional boundaries are that you're exercising in Virgo, you're instructing the universe that this is how you want it always to fly. So if your boss can get away with saying that, that's the way it's always going to fly. If the person at 7-Eleven can get away with not giving you your quarter back, that's not, that's the way it's always going to fly. People are setting intentions, and they want to remind you that 12 years ago was the last time Jupiter was in Virgo, 24 years ago was the time before that, 36 years ago was the time before that. Go back all this time for the baby boomers especially, they say, whose hearts are still broken and you're still trying to make a decision about whether or not you want to heal this heart for good at last that you came to heal. Go back each 12 years in your life and see how they're saying we, okay, how we have given you opportunity to change your life each and every one of these cycles, and how you have either passed on it or taken the advantage of it but not protected yourself in the meanwhile, they say. So one of the things that's going on right now is Mercury is beginning to oppose Uranus, and Mercury is thinking about the new mirage, the new way of relating to ourselves. And when I say the new mirage, I mean the way Hillary Clinton has to face herself now that she's got Bernie Sanders on her duck wing. I mean the way Bernie Sanders has to face himself, like now that he realizes he's a real candidate. Everyone, when things start to happen, have to suddenly face themselves and have that moment like, oh, are we going to do this? Are we going to do this? Right? Like, so that moment's coming for everyone, where you will be in the mirror. That's your mind, the smartass. Mercury today is at step 12, so today is kind of like we're opening the door to a new reality where it has to be a focus like an Olympic swimmer on yourself to get through this rite of passage. So your mind must be mindful of yourself. Now, what it's fighting against is Uranus in Aries, which is at step 19 retrograde. Yep. Which means that technically this is the undoing of a part of your male energy that you once thought was going to be solid. So again, they're showing me, I said I would never say never. That's almost a guarantee it's going to happen. I never say never anymore. You know what I mean? Like, because I don't know what that's a cause. It has a strange effect. But in essence, there's a lot of people who said they would never. This is not that type of man. You slow down with my channeling. And so And so you may find yourself a hypocrite, but the truth is they're saying you made the choices as a, quote, man or as a strong person when you were not in a spiritual center. So these ego choices can actually hang you up later, not so much now. You're fortunate to hear about it now while you're creating new reality. So they're trying to help everyone like kind of build the new ego. The mind opposing Uranus means the mind is going to be what's in argument with the ego. So in other words, the smart ass, which is our mind, and the dumbass, which is our ego, are fighting. You know what I mean? Which means the mind's like, I'm not gonna do this, and the, you know, and right away I'm getting kind of like that kind of drag queen energy. It's just like, oh girl, you ain't going, you know, like that kind of thing. It's like inside of you, where the male side of you is this, and the mind side of you is chattering this. And again, here's what they say, you know, and that's part of today's solution. What is easy? What is the easy path? When your mind and ego are fighting over two things, maybe the solution is none of the above. Maybe the solution is something with the heart, and that's the other thing. Ask the heart. The heart set up this circumstance. The heart had an intention of blending these two extremes in the first place, and you are a biological experiment to see if that can actually happen. So try to listen to the heart when the mind and ego are fighting, and they also say that because of the moon in Cancer, in late degrees of Cancer, you really want to try to keep the peace inside and observe more than anything, because we're setting up a reality where there might be fighting inside, but we stay calm nonetheless. There might be a war going on, but we stay calm nonetheless. We might not know where our next paycheck is, but we stay calm nonetheless. Okay? Stay calm and carry on. So we're heading for Love Fest Day, and I want you to know, and this is my last message for this little love cast, is that Love Fest Day is coming. We're at the 28-day final cycle of the moon returning home into Cancer, and so this is the purification of emotion, the letting go. If you're still holding on to emotion from the weekend, let it go. Go to the gym, cry it out, you know, go swimming. When you enter into water, you release this stuff. And I just want you to know, and they want you to know, that you're almost there, in the sense that we're getting another dose of love here as soon as the moon moves into Leo later on. So it's literally that last mile where your side's hurting and your coach is like, come on, and you're like, fuck you. You know what I mean? Like, I don't wanna, you know, like, and you just have to, like, you know, but then you just do it anyways, and you're like, yay, and, you know, show everyone at home, like, look what I did, right? Okay. All right, cool. We'll talk about Love Fest Day tomorrow. So I will wrap up this little transmission here, and transmission with them. Watching my shows, I realized, oh my gosh, you know, I'm obviously very green on camera, because like I either become a psychic and I forget to announce stuff, or I announce stuff and it disrupts my psychic. So I'm learning how to balance, but I do want to always pull out of transmission and make mentions to all. If you guys have Periscope, I don't know if you know, this is a cool Twitter application, but I will be up periscoping from time to time and giving you astro weather events. They're really cool. There are videos that live on Twitter and live for like 24 hours. So it's kind of like a great way to get a light cast out there, and I'm going to be experimenting with that. So you might want to get Periscope and add me on Twitter. On Twitter, I'm at Wateki. Okay. Well, I don't know if I can do business after I channel. I'm a little out of it. I'll see you folks tomorrow with more. I love you. Stay in your hearts. Get through this last smile, and I'll see you for Love Fest. Until then, live, love, be.